I feel like hell, I look like hell, so what better time to talk about a movie about hell? Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all new Talkin Movies. As always, I am your host, the real Gino Reynolds, and today we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Dean Morgan's new horror film, The Unholy. This movie, look, I'm probably going to spoil this one, but I'll save that stuff to the end. I don't recommend this one. It's not saying that the acting's bad or anything. It's just that while it teases some good ideas, it's very predictable and generic and Hollywood ending type of horror movie. And there's better ones out there with similar subject matter. So uh, I wouldn't recommend this one. It's too bad because I thought Jeffrey Dean Morgan was good in this. I thought Cricket Brown was good in this. I thought William Sadler was good in this. Um, but yeah, the overall execution it just kind of ruins and predictability ruins it. What this movie is about is you have this uh, journalist that's been blackballed because he lied to make stories happen. He would lie about stories and facts and everything else. So he he works for chump change to investigate these stories, and while he's investigating um, quote unquote cow mutilation, which is actually a pretty funny scene near the first of the movie, uh, he stumbles upon this tree and this doll in the tree, because he can actually hear someone speaking, and of course the guy he's with doesn't hear anything. He investigates the tree, finds the doll, and after getting a small history lesson about the doll, uh, he Jeffrey D. Morgan's character breaks the doll. Uh, I'm not going to try to explain the legend. This leads to a young girl who is deaf and has been deaf her entire life. She is all of a sudden at this tree. She's speaking to the tree. She's never said a word in her life. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character finds her. Turns out this is a girl that William Sadler's character, who's the local priest, he had been raising this girl for a long time. And it turns out this girl, no one believes Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character that she spoke and all this stuff. But then other people witnessed the miracle. They also witnessed the girl heal somebody. And she says that the Virgin Mary is speaking to her and speaking through her. And of course, this leads to a lot of fame for Jeffrey D. Morgan's character. And that leads down the whole path of, well, is it really the Virgin Mary and all that? Here's the thing. The movie tells you right away the answer to that, which is unfortunate because a mystery for half the movie could have been entertaining. It could have been a good plot device, because the uncertainty of, is this good or evil would have been entertaining, at least for half the movie. I mean, it could have, and even though it did, it could have went the cliche of course it's evil, but they tell you right away whether it is or not. So that kind of took away from the movie a little bit. One part of this movie, though, while I never thought this was going to be a great movie, there was a couple times it could have taken a turn to an interesting plot device. The first plot device was, and this is where I'm going to get into spoiler territory, because really, all I can really say about the movie is I like the acting in it, and the plot was predictable, especially since I gave you too much information. The plot was pretty generic. I've seen movies like this before, and one I'm about to talk about, at least in part. So there's really nothing new that this one offers. So this movie, a lot of the time, and especially when the church gets involved, uh, the main Catholic Church sends people to investigate as well these quote unquote miracles. And that's where the movie started reminding me of Stigmata, which I know a lot of people don't like that movie. I like that movie. I remember, I think Gabriel Byrne got a Razzie for that, and I liked him in that. Um, but it reminded me that where I thought it was going to go the way of, because they start mentioning other shrines, other Catholic Church shrines. And I thought that this movie was going to go in a direction of, and this, again, big spoilers here, where these shrines that supposedly have these powers are really led by evil, and the Catholic Church don't care because it brings them the publicity, it brings them the crowds, it brings them the money. And that's kind of where Stigmata was, where not really the same thing, but with Stigmata, it led to, and they're based on real writings. They were supposedly some writings of Jesus, where he was saying this is how the church should be. Well, the Catholic Church put the kibosh on it in that movie because, well, we can't have them ruining our ways, you know. It's for the betterment of the church, even though in that movie it wasn't what Jesus really wanted. And I thought that this movie was going to do a similar approach where it's like, well, we're able to perform these miracles and everything. It doesn't really matter that they're coming from an evil source, as long as people believe that it's God, right? And I really thought they were going to go that way, especially when we start mentioning the other shrines. Because I thought maybe, especially since they seem to be connecting this one source to those shrines, I thought maybe it's like going to be, you know, the Catholic Church is going to try to cover it up to protect those shrines. But no, the movie's not that smart. So I was really hoping it was going to go there, but it didn't. And then I was like, well, gee, I wonder how this is going to end. And then there was a part where near the end, they find the way to defeat the bad guy, but then a miracle happens after the bad guy's defeated, and you think, oh, it was really God. And you know what? Believe in God or not, for the plot of this movie, it would have made a really good ending to this movie. It wouldn't have made this a great movie, but it would have been... Look, can I just say this, Hollywood? It's okay if the good guys win in a horror movie. It really is. I am so sick and tired of an ending of a horror movie. It's like, hey, we beat the bad guy, but they still might be there. You know, they'll do some shot where it's like, haha, they're really not defeated, or haha, it's not over. I hate it. I can't stand it anymore. And this movie does just that. It would have been a decent ending if the characters had found their real faith at the end. It would have fit the plot of the movie, but no. Haha, bad guys gotta win in a horror movie. Yeah, because they tease that, you know, this miracle happened because, you know, the evil's still there, or this miracle happening being that it was connected to this one character that allowed evil to return. I mean, it left it a little open, but either way, it doesn't work. It would have just been good if, hey, a real miracle happened. The end. It would have been a better ending. It still would have been a great movie, but I would have been okay with it. I would have maybe even recommended this as a rental with the ending, even though they threw away a better plot. I do like where, I will say this, even though it didn't go the way of like Stigmata, whenever the main priest character ends up trying to really use his faith, it's like, you know, the demon's just like, no, that ain't gonna work for you, buddy. So I liked that. Just because he's just like, the power of Christ, you know, compels you to leave me alone. And the demon's just like, no, sorry. Gonna kill you now. So yeah, it threw away a better plot, and it went, Hollywood horror ending, and I hated that. They could have left it happy. They could have left it a happy ending, and it would have made this a better movie. A movie I would have recommended as a rental. Not a high rental, not a you gotta rent it right when it comes out. But if you've seen everything else and you need a horror movie, well, this one wouldn't have been a bad one. But no, it ends exactly how you think it's going to end. So movies drive me nuts when they start to tease me with better ideas and a better ending or a different ending. And then it's just like, no, we're going to pull that rug out from under you. You know we're going to pull the rug out from under you, and we're going to do it anyway. I would have been more surprised if they would have just left it as these characters have found their faith now, and that's a good thing. So yeah, I can't recommend this one. I hate saying that too, because again, the acting's really good. And I really did want to recommend it. We got near the end, and I'm like, that's going to be a great ending, but I just know they're going to do this, and they did it. And I walked out of there just shaking my head. So now I can't recommend this one. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Gino YouTube channel. Like this video. If you have anything to say about the Unholy, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Till next time, I am your host, the Real Gino, Gino Reynolds. See you later.